Hi there, I'm Kat Lewis with Mercury Language Therapy, and I wanted to come here today and tell you guys about one of the parts of language therapy that might surprise you, which is handwriting. And you might think, oh, my dyslexic, dysgraphic kid doesn't like to handwrite, they just want to type. And oh, they already know how to print and their print looks fine, we don't want to spend time on handwriting. I'm going to explain to you why we work on handwriting and specifically why we work on cursive and why it is a good bang for our buck in terms of time. The first reason why we do handwriting before we work on typing is that we know from research that when it comes to the brain, when you're handwriting something, more of the brain activates, particularly in the areas that are related to memory and encoding things for long-term retrieval. So if you're just typing up a story and you are a fluent reader and writer, you're not going to need that typing to go into your long-term memory. But if you are writing a word that you are struggling to learn how to spell, you want all of those cognitive resources working for you. One of the reasons why we like cursive over print is one, because a lot of kids come to us already knowing how to print a lot of their letters and they're doing it badly. They've learned poor letter formation. They're not using dependable directionality. They're not starting from the top and going left to right. And so instead of trying to start over with something that's already there and try to retrain that muscle memory, it's easier just to switch into another writing pattern that they can learn how to do from scratch correctly. A third thing that is related to that is that when kids learn how to print badly and they're not going top to bottom, left to right, one of the things I see over and over again in the classroom is a kid starts to write a B and they start with the line, or probably they go from the bottom to the top, and then they're like, I can't remember which way the little loop goes. And then they're looking for my alphabet strip. In cursive, they are always going to be going left to right. They have to. And B and D have totally different approach strokes, which is an important part of how we teach handwriting in dyslexia therapy, is with the approach stroke technique. So if I'm going to write a B, I'm going to be thinking curve way up, loop left, down, loop right, release. For a D, I'm going to do under, over, stop, back, round, way up, down, release. Not only do they look very different now, we approach them in a different way. So when their brain says B, they're going to think curve way up, loop left. They're not going to think a line and then an arbitrary lump going in one direction or the other. The same goes for P and Q. They are different approach strokes. They look very different. So this helps with those confusions about directionality and frees up a little bit more cognitive resources for other more important things having to do with decoding. The final reason why we like to use cursive is that when you are writing a word in print and you are picking up your pencil between each letter, it is harder for the brain to associate those letters together as a unit. So if I had my students spell the word slip, I would say slip, and they would repeat slip. And then I would say, let's find the sounds. S, l, I, p. And then we would code onto those sounds the letters S, L, I, P. Now, if they then go pick up their pencil and they're saying S, L, I, P, their brain might still feel like this is 4 separate sounds, 4 separate letters that they wrote down in an arbitrary order. But if we're writing it as one unit, S, L, I, P, they have now practiced the unit of the word slip, and it's all one piece, and it's so much more likely to stick both in muscle memory and their orthographic memory, the part of their brain that remembers what was the correct way to put letters together to represent sounds, this is going to be much more reliable for the brain to hold on to and encode. And so those are our 4 reasons why we're going to work on what might seem like a very old-fashioned skill of cursive handwriting, but it will definitely benefit your dyslexic reader. I hope that this has been helpful and informative, and I hope to see your child in a session very soon. Have a great day. Bye.